going on, everybody? It's me again, Gold and Blue Dude. Hey, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, especially if you're a college football or a college basketball fan. That is what we do here. College football or college basketball videos every single day. We just hit 5,000 subscribers, but we have an even bigger goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I nailed it. Caleb Williams has announced that he is transferring to USC. It just made too much sense. The coach that recruited him, Lincoln Riley, is now the head coach of USC. Both Jackson Dart and Kedon Slovis transferred out. Kedon Slovis transferred to Pitt. Jackson Dart transferred to Ole Miss. So I think this is a pretty good fit for Caleb Williams. He'll be able to start right out of the gate. The biggest question is, does that make USC a contender right now? Well, their recruiting class is not all that great because of quantity. Now, the quality is pretty good. They have 1 5-star, 4 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. So a total of 8. So it's a small recruiting class, but it has a lot of talent. I think USC is close. That defense needs some work, but I think they're going to have an explosive offense. Their schedule isn't all that great. The only game that I really don't like is that road trip to Utah. That's going to be a tough one. But other than that, they have a doable schedule. Is it possible that Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams takes USC from worst to first? It is very possible. Number one, not many people saw USC going 4-8 last year, including myself. So much so that after they lost to Stanford, their head coach was fired. So yeah, it was totally unexpected. They had way too much talent to go 4-8 last year. And don't forget, USC still has that talent. Yes, Jackson Dart and Kedon Slovis transferred out, along with their tight end Trigg. But USC is packed with talent. And Lincoln Riley is going to make USC a destination school for quarterbacks in pretty much any skill position on the offensive side of the ball. So yes, I do think USC will be competitive for years to come in the Pac-12 and be a playoff contender, but the question is how soon? How quickly can Lincoln Riley get USC into playoff shape? Well, the good news for Lincoln Riley is they do play in the Pac-12. So it's not like they play in the SEC and they got to get beat up over and over until their talent is built up. No, they already have the talent built up. And the Pac-12 is terrible. And to be honest with you, the Pac-12 needs USC to be dominant. Because if you look at it, every Power 5 conference needs a dominant team to get into the playoffs. What happened the one year that Clemson wasn't dominant in the ACC? The ACC missed the playoffs. The SEC usually has just Alabama. This year they had Alabama and Georgia. Both of those teams made the national championship. The Big 12 usually has Oklahoma. Oklahoma wasn't the dominant team in the Big 12. What happened? The Big 12 missed the playoffs. The Big 10 usually has Ohio State, but this year was Michigan. Michigan dominated, so they got in the playoffs. So yes, the Pac-12 needs USC to be dominant just as much as USC needs to be dominant themselves. So I guarantee you the Pac-12 commissioner is hoping that this is a spark, the spark that USC needs to get to the playoffs, because the Pac-12 desperately needs that money. They have not been doing well financially as of recent years. So I think USC can turn into that dominant team in the Pac-12 and make the playoffs in as soon as 2-3 years. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but in a couple years, 3 years, absolutely. That is too big of a brand. Lincoln Riley is too good of a coach. And the Pac-12 is too bad of a league for USC not to be able to come out of that as a dominant team. We forget about the teams under Pete Carroll that dominated the Pac-12 and won national championships. And that's all USC needed, a great head coach. And I think Lincoln Riley is that great head coach. And now they have a pretty good quarterback in Caleb Williams. Put it all together, and I think it spells success for USC. Man, if Lincoln Riley doesn't get USC to the playoffs in a relatively short amount of time, it's going to be a big letdown. Not just for USC, not for the Pac-12, but for me personally, because I have high expectations for USC under Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams. I think they're going to do great things. And if you think about it, really the only team that stands in their way is Utah. I mean, you look at Oregon. They lost Mario Cristobal. They've been doing okay, but they're not a dominant team in the Pac-12, not even close. So really the only team that USC will have to deal with as far as competing for that top spot will be Utah. Now you will have those trip-up teams like Arizona State and UCLA and Oregon, possibly Stanford, possibly Washington. But overall, it's Utah that USC is going to have to look out for. But in my opinion, if the Pac-12 is going to head to the playoffs, it will have to go through USC. I like Utah. I like what they're building. But I don't think that they're a dominant enough of a team in the Pac-12 to get to the playoffs. They just aren't. Now the question is, can USC overcome that and remove Utah as a stumbling block? Because that's what Utah would be for USC and the Pac-12 into the playoffs. So y'all let me know in the comments section, do you think that USC is going to have quick success? Is it going to take a lot of time? Or are they going to have no success with Lincoln Riley? I'm going to go with quick success, especially with these NIL deals and the transfer portal. I mean, Southern Cal, that is the land of NIL deals. And you better believe that Lincoln Riley will definitely be able to take advantage of that. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next show.